like a studio from the view, but it's just a partial studio I set up during quarantine, safer at home orders initially, to do videos and whatnot, and so here we are. So I am going to be doing a 30-minute flow for you this morning, since it's too cold to be outside at the park for the season finale of Yoga at Franklin Park. I am joining you via live stream here on Facebook, and it'll be recorded to watch later if you would like. But I decided to dedicate today's flow to teachers, and teachers being a very broad term. Teachers I work with at the Shawano School District, homeschool teachers, virtual homeschool teachers, e-learning homeschool teachers, or whatnot, however you want to look at it. We've all been doing a lot of things that are not necessarily in our comfort zone, and a lot of tension and stress, and probably a lot of sitting and figuring out electronics that in rural Shawano area are not always the most friendly and cooperative. And so I want to, Kim, hey, good morning. I wanted to record this flow that's going to really help release some of that tension that starts in your hips. So we're going to start by coming into child's pose, one of the hip opening poses that helps you get grounded. So bring your knees out to the edges of your mat. You're going to bring your big toes together behind and sink your hips back. Bring your forehead down. I'm going to get this hair off my shirt. Start to slow your breath. Bring your focus and your awareness to your body. We've been focused on so many things outside of our bodies this past week. Really for this past months, year, whatever it is. Taking time for you just to draw your focus and attention within and do a little self-check. Show a little self-love, oh so important. So I'm gently massaging my forehead and rocking back and forth just a little bit. You can bring your hands over your neck in prayer position. So take a few more breaths here. Think about something you're grateful for. Sometimes we find ourselves focusing on things that are not as pleasant, that we wish we could change. And you know what, maybe we can change those things, but you're going to find more satisfaction, more joy if you focus on what you have and what you are grateful for. So take one more breath, focus on a thought of gratitude, and then work your way to tabletop. Bring your hands under your hip or your shoulders, knees under your hips. Nice neutral spine. Inhale, drop your belly into cow. Exhale, arch your back into cat. So waking up slowly. Inhale back into cow. Exhale back into cat. So my tops of my feet are down. You can curl your toes under if that feels good. Get a really gentle stretch. You can even rock your ankles. So continue on your own breath. A few more rounds of this. Just really appreciate each and every stretch that you get. Each movement maybe wakes up a different part of your body that's maybe been a little bit more dormant if you haven't consciously moved in different directions lately. Finding your way into a nice neutral spine. Let's go ahead and start drawing circles with our hips. So sink back, so left corner. Feel how good that feels. Sink back to the right corner. Coming forward, walking your hands forward a little bit, dropping your hips kind of into a cobra. If this is a little intense, drop your belly button down, maybe to lift up just a little more slightly. And then go ahead and play around a little bit. Do what feels good. If it feels amazing, if you got a really tight hip on one side, just hang out there a little bit longer. So show yourself some love. So a couple more breaths to play around, feel what feels good in your body. And then we're going to come into down dog from here. So curl your toes under, lift your hips on up, drop your crown down. So feet should be about hip distance apart. Shoulders or hands should be about shoulder width apart as well still. So bring your chest back towards your thighs. My heels touch the mat, but yours might not. Doesn't matter if they do, just feel that nice extension. As you lift one heel, you can drop the other. That's going to help you get a little bit more of an extension through that Achilles and through your calf. So a couple more breaths here, maybe coming up on both toes at the same time.
Maybe draw little circles, release that tension in your neck. I'm more of a upper body tension holder myself. We're going to focus on the lower body, but don't disregard your upper body, especially if you're like me. So next breath, go ahead and walk your hands towards your feet and feet towards your hands, meet in the middle. I'm going to turn to face this way, so ragdoll. You're going to find your way into a halfway lift. So actually I turn back sideways, so a nice 90-degree bend with your body, keeping your, I'm looking up, but keep your focus down. Exhale as you fold, so ragdoll. So feet, nice sturdy base, shoulder width apart, hip distance apart. It's about the same. So I'm grabbing opposite elbows, swaying a little bit. You can bend your knees quite a bit to bring your belly to your thighs. If you have really tight hamstrings, which this flow is dedicated to you, then nice big healthy bend of the knees is going to release some tension a little bit easier. You'll find more ease in the pose, we'll put it that way. So a couple more breaths here. Maybe you're lacing your fingers behind your back, rinsing your shoulders out. Upper body tension, people, this is for you. So one more breath here. Go ahead and release your hands down to your mat. We're just going to do one full sun A salutation, it's called. Inhale, come into a halfway lift. Pull your crown away from your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, draw your belly button in, rise all the way up. Nice tall mountain. Exhale, we're going to lean to the right. So nice big side body stretch through here. Inhale, nice tall mountain again. Exhale, other direction. One big breath here. Next inhale, nice tall mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, find your way to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into a nice tall plank. Locking in your core, elbows rotate back, lower down to low plank or your belly. I'm going to come all the way to my belly. Inhale, little lift for a baby cobra. Bigger lift, maybe chest comes between your arms for a up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhale, you're going to bring your right leg up. Exhale, you're going to bring it to the top of your mat. Drop that back knee. So it's going to look backwards on the video right now, but here we go. So we're going to come into our crescent lunge. So we're going to build some fire up in that lower body, warm up to get some nice deep stretches. So crescent lunge legs. I'm grabbing wrists behind my back. You can grab opposite elbows. You can come up, nice tall arms. So dropping that back knee all the way to the mat is going to find more ease. Right above the mat, it's going to build the most heat. A little higher up, it's going to be somewhere in between. Finding a couple more breaths here. Inhale, bring your hands into prayer position. Exhale, bow. You're going to twist to the right. So bringing your left elbow towards the outside of your right knee. Opening up nice and tall. Maybe keeping the prayer hands. Maybe your arm comes around your back, your right arm around your back. Maybe you can bind. Doesn't matter. We're still building heat. We're getting a little bit of a detox with the twist. Finding one more breath here. Inhale, rise all the way up to a forward-facing crescent. On your exhale, kick off that left foot, have it join your right, sink into your chair pose. So squeezing your knees together, activating your glutes, build that lower body heat. So weight should be in your heels. One more breath here. I'm going to bring my hands into prayer position. We're going to step back. Left foot's going to go back. Weight's going to remain in the right foot. You're going to come back to that crescent lunge. Exhale, push back, chair pose. Inhale, back to crescent lunge. Exhale, back to chair pose. One more breath, crescent lunge. Exhale, chair. Inhale, stand up nice and tall, big full body stretch in the mountain. Exhale, forward fold. We're gonna do that same set on the other side. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back into a high plank. Lock in your core. Tip forward on your tippy toes, low plank your belly. Inhale, cobra or up dog like I'm doing. Exhale, back to down dog. So other side, here we go. Inhale, your left leg's gonna lift. Exhale, bring it to the top of your mat. Inhale into your crescent lunge. So find your back knee coming as low as you would like it to go. Hands coming into whatever variation. So if you've got that upper body tension, which if you're doing a lot of this or this, then you definitely want to be drawing your shoulders back. Cactus arms, look face forward. Another option, so bring your arms back, opening up that chest, that fascia that gets nice and tight when you're like this. Your shoulders get all tense. This is going to help open up. You can even open up with a little back bend. So next inhale, bring your hands into a prayer position. Exhale, bow, twist to the left. So finding your way into a nice crescent lunge here. Maybe open up floor to ceiling. Crescent twist, I should say. Maybe that arm comes around your back. So finding a little bit more heat here. Inhale, back to forward crescent. Exhale, right foot joins left. Sink on down, chair pose again. So just a few breaths here. I'm going to bring my hands into prayer position, drawing shoulder blades down and back. Once again, working on opening up that shoulder area. So weight's going to stay in the left foot this time. On your inhale, you're going to step back to a crescent lunge. So inhale, right foot goes back. Exhale, back to chair. Inhale, back to crescent lunge. Exhale, back to chair. One more time. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, back to chair. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands. Come on back into your high plank. If this is too much to keep a nice, strong, steady core, come to your knees. Form is more important than amping up the pose. So going through the rest of your flow, up dog, back to down dog. All right, so we're gonna go through that little mini flow. We're gonna add on some deeper stretches and hold those. So a little quicker for that first part. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, you're gonna bring your foot to the top. Inhale, crescent lunge. One breath here. Inhale, prayer hands. Exhale, bow, twist to the right. One breath here. Inhale, back to tall crescent, forward facing. Exhale, chair. One breath in chair. Inhale, step back to crescent lunge. Exhale, back to chair. Inhale, rise on up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, keep that right foot grounded, left leg's gonna lift. We're gonna do a standing half split. That's gonna help wake up that glute area, especially as you drop your left hip, your right hip abductor, that outside hip area that gets really tight. And start to feel that to release. You don't need your leg all the way up. So you're gonna get a nice hamstring stretch as well. So a few breaths here. A little more activation going on, a little bit more heat building as we prime ourselves for the hurdler's lunge. So hurdler's lunge, back foot's gonna drop. You can come to your knee, straighten out your front leg, toes are gonna come up, Find some extension through your spine. So lift your heart on up. As you exhale, forward fold. So you can also be a little taller. You don't have to sit back. You can stay up, prop yourself up, come this way. Or the other option is come all the way down. So see what works well for you. I like to sit on my back foot here. My toes curled under, gets a nice little stretch. So taking a handful of breaths here, really start to feel that hip area, glute area, really start to release. Feel good. So if you want to reach forward, that might help you out. But flexing the toes, you'll really feels different as you flex. Lengthen that back area of your leg a little bit more and get a little better stretch. One more breath here. We're going to come into a side lunge now. Get the inside. So go ahead and you're going to walk your hands towards the left. So you're going to lean on off towards your left leg. Coming sideways now. So lengthening out that right side. So we're going to open up the chest. By opening up, right hand lifts up. Maybe it comes around your back. Another option too is bringing left arm in front of your leg, linking behind your back. That might be too much. This is good. You don't even have to incorporate the upper body so much, but if you want, get a little opening up there too. Feels really good for me. Finding one more breath. Go ahead and walk your hands back towards your right foot. Go ahead and kick your right foot on back. Let's set up, do that on the other side. So you're in your high plank. You can just meet back in down dog, low plank, up dog, back to down dog. Here we go. Inhale, your left leg's gonna lift. Exhale, bring it to the top. Set on up for your crescent lunge legs. So one breath in our crescent lunge. Inhale, prayer hands. Exhale, bow, twist to the left. For one breath here. Inhale, forward facing. Exhale, right foot joins left, chair pose. So one breath here. Inhale, right foot steps back, come back to that crescent lunge. Exhale here. Inhale, right foot comes up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left foot stays grounded, right leg lifts up. For standing half splits on the left. Drop that right hip now. Feel that nice external hip abductor release on the left side. So if you get a block, I got one behind me. I'm not using it, but you can use anything you want to help prop yourself up a little bit if you're by a sofa or something like that. Anything you want. If this is a little too much, you don't have to completely come into that fold. The big trick is though dropping that right hip, or else you're not going to feel your left hip get the stretch. If you're opening up, your hips are very unlevel, I'm not feeling anything there. When I drop this, big difference. So one more breath here. Next breath, slowly let that back foot come to your mat. We're going to sink back to that hurdler's lunge, straightening out that front leg, finding some extension through your spine as you lift on up, hinge forward, and fold into your one-legged seated forward fold. Hurdler's lunge. So big deep breaths here. Holding your breath's not going to do you any good. If you feel pain and that's why you're holding your breath for whatever reason, then back out of the pose a little bit, find a modification, or just do something completely different if this is not for you. If you're extremely tight, might be a little intense. Finding one more breath here. Next breath, go ahead and flatten that front foot. You're going to walk your hands. You're going to see the back of me this time, what the back looks like, maybe with that bind if you're interested. So nice side lunge now. So right hand's going to stay grounded in front of your right leg. Left arm's going to lift up. Maybe it comes around your back. Or the option for that opening up the chest with that bind may or may not work. If you got a towel or something or a strap, you can grab it there, but That would be one option. Otherwise, just keeping that shoulder back. Really, that's binding, lifting your arm. As long as you're drawing your shoulder back, there's lots of different ways to do it. That's going to help open up that chest area that can get really tight too. So, but don't lose sight of the fact that we are trying to stretch that inside thigh. One more breath here. Next breath, go ahead and walk your hands back to the front. Pivot that foot, go ahead and bring it on back. High plank to low plank to up dog, back to down dog. We're going to do just one more little flow and then we'll get on our mat, do a few stretches, and I think our time will be about up to keep this a nice about 30-minute flow. So inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, bring your foot to the top. We're going to set on up for triangle pose. So triangle pose, I am going to grab my block just because triangle is one of those poses that is nice to have. So your feet are front foot shining forward, left foot's about at a 90 or so. Your right hand's going to stay on the inside of your right foot. Maybe it comes onto a block. Opening up, you're making that nice triangle shape with your legs. Nice straight legs. Front knee can have a little bit of a bend. You don't want it to be locking out. You want that nice neutral straight leg. A little bend's better than the opposite direction. So if you can come all the way down to your mat, great. Doesn't really matter. You can also rest on your knee. You can also just hover. That's going to engage your core a little bit more, holding up like this. Arm can come around the back. Let's go ahead and add our little revolve triangle move. So next inhale, bring your left hand down, maybe to a block. Exhale, right hand goes up. So you're twisting your triangle. So activating different areas of your leg as you do that. So a couple more breaths here. We're going to come into intense pose. So go ahead and bring that right hand down. You're going to shorten your stance. Find your way and keep your feet nice and nice firm base, so close to the edges of your mat. Inhale, find your way into a halfway lift. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. So hands can be prayer position. Maybe they're grabbing opposite elbows. Maybe they're helping prop yourself up. If you've got a nice tight hamstring, once again, a little bit of help maybe on a block. Whatever you need to do to feel good. Finding one more breath here. We're going to walk our hands off to the left. Pivot your feet, bring your feet out nice and wide. We're going to come into a nice wide-legged forward fold. So inhale, come into a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. So coming on down, maybe walk your hands between your legs. Use, in addition to gravity, a little leverage, pulling yourself down into your fold. Maybe sway your neck around a little bit. One more breath here. And we're going to set up for triangle on the other side. So next breath, go ahead and walk your hands off to your left foot. Pivot that left foot. Left hand's going to come on the inside of your left foot. Right hand's going to lift up. So as I live stream this on Facebook, as I'm recording this also for YouTube, live streamers, everything's going to be mirrored because of the way I'm using my phone to film this. I'm trying to get a twofer, a little video I'm going to get posted on my Peaceful Warrior YouTube channel as well. One more breath here. Next inhale, right hand comes down. Exhale, left hand goes up for revolve triangle. Oh, this feels good. I know I was on my butt a lot yesterday, working on a project at the desk. Should have stood the desk up a bit. I guess I was in and up out of my seat a bit. But it's good to take little stretch breaks in your day if you don't have the luxury of needing to get up for something. One more breath here. Go ahead and ground your left hand. You're going to bring your right foot closer to your left, so about 2 feet apart. So feet both shining forward. Make sure your feet are at least hip distance apart, so closer to the edge of your mat. Inhale, come into a halfway lift. Exhale as you extend your spine, forward fold, pyramid pose. So get that nice stretch. Once again, prayer hands, propping yourself up, maybe grabbing behind the back, opposite elbows. Wow, my left side's definitely tighter. I can feel that. Totally normal to have that imbalance going on, since actual balance in life is just a myth. It doesn't really exist. So I like to talk about harmony. So yoga helps bring harmony to my life for sure. Can't be on one end of the spectrum all the time. You gotta bring that pendulum back and keep that that harmony between the flow. See, I almost did balance too. So walk your hands to the inside of your legs again. Find your way to a nice halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Couple breaths here, and we're gonna set up for pigeon pose on the right side. So walk your hands back to your right foot. Inhale, bring your right leg back. Exhale, bring your right knee towards your right wrist, setting your foot down anywhere in between your left wrist and left knee. Closer you are to parallel with the mat up front, the more intense it's going to be. So you want your hips shining forward then. I am about as low as I can go when I am perfectly parallel to the front of the mat. So maybe a little deeper. Blocks are really great. You can stick it under on this side. Your leg that's up front, you can stick it under there, find a little bit more ease. So that's super amazing for me. So I'm going to go right there with my block. So ideally you're holding at least 30 seconds for a pose like this. I'm going to look at the clock. So we're going to hold it between 30 seconds and a minute roughly. If you can do longer, great. This is an amazing pose to stay in 2, 5, even 10 minutes. So definitely hydrate afterwards. Anytime you move around in ways you're not used to moving, you release toxins into your system that can just sit if not properly flushed and make you feel not as good as you would otherwise, for sure. So one more breath here. Go ahead and bring your right leg on back. Paddle it out just a moment. Let's do that on the other side. So inhale, bring your left leg up. Exhale, bring your left knee towards your left wrist. Sink it on down. I'm going to relocate my block. So another variation would be to come down like this. That would be more of a sleeping pigeon option. So you can also do king pigeon, reaching back, bending your right knee and grabbing it with your right hand in this particular case. So that doesn't work so great with me with a block under. Can't get as deep of a stretch here. It is a really nice quad stretch though when you reach back and do that. So finding a couple more breaths here. Staying a little longer actually. We probably got another like 20 seconds or so to keep it even. So if you're not already doing so, watching this at home, music, throwing some music on in the background, or if you got a nice little fountain, that's also amazing. I don't record with music usually, and I'm probably not going to dub it over because I think that takes away the option for you to put your own music in there. So finding one more breath. Everybody's got different tastes, so don't want to rob you of that opportunity to play whatever you'd like. So bringing your right leg on back, coming onto your back from there. So walking your feet forward, laying on back. Go ahead and windshield wiper a moment. So bring knees both sides at the same time. Feels good. So we're going to do a nice little lower back stretch. Go ahead and bring your left leg on straight, right knee can stay bent, and let your right knee drape off, keeping that right shoulder grounded, looking off towards the right. It's going to amplify. Maybe rest your left hand on your right knee. So big deep breaths there. One more breath. Back to a neutral spine. I'm gonna adjust my ponytail. It's like right under my head. Not super comfy. So bring the left knee on up, right leg straightens out. Go ahead and drape on off. Left knee off to the right. So big breaths here. Make sure I'm not showing anything I shouldn't be. So as you exhale, see if you can relax a little bit more. Consciously unwind. Finding one more breath. And coming back to your back. So a little bit of happy baby is going to be our inversion. So feet are going to come up. You can grab the big toes or outsides of your feet. Let your elbows kind of open up, naturally open up your hips a little bit by pushing on the insides of your knee. Rock and roll a little bit. So getting your lower body higher than your upper body, hips higher than heart is going to help. Those are forms of inversions. So this is just one very gentle, mild one. Also a hip opener, nice little low back massage. He says you rock around, it is. So final relaxation pose. So not going to take too long on this, but if you want to stretch out into corpse pose or bring soles of feet together for reclined butterfly, maybe one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. Slow your breath, close your eyes, appreciate the stillness. The rest of the day might be crazy, hectic, busy. Hopefully you can take time to unwind beyond this 30 minutes or so that you've chosen to join me for yoga. But we take what we can get, one moment at a time, one breath at a time. So one more big breath here. Remember what you are grateful for. Let that warm your soul. And then either drawing your knees into your chest, maybe rolling off to one side into fetal position, either propping yourself up there or rock and roll up into easy seated pose. You're going to end with 2 big breaths together. So sitting up nice and tall, drawing your shoulders down, feeling that connection to the earth. Inhale, reaching arms on up. Exhale, let them come down. One more time, arms up. Drawing hands together, prayer position, heart center. My prayer for you is that you take care of yourself. Know that you cannot take care of others unless you first care for yourself. As we bow together, we say, Namaste. Bye. Thanks for joining me. Take care.